We are live. Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to councillors, officers and members of the gallery and everybody watching on the live stream to this May scheduled meeting of Swan Hill Rural City Council. Swan Hill Rural City Council acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet and pays its respects to their elders past and present. Councillor Thornton, the declaration please. Thank you. Please be seated. If I get on the chair right. Apologies and leaves of absence. We have no apologies, but we have a leave of absence, which has already been voted on for Councillor McPhee. So we can move on to directors and officers present. Scott Barber, CEO, is an apology today. So sitting in his chair is Bruce Myers, Director of Community and Cultural Services. We have Leah Johnston, Director of Infrastructure, Michelle Granger, Director of Development and Planning, Helen Morris as Acting Director of Corporate Services, Sharon Lindsay, Executive Assistant, and Tamara Matthews, Executive Support. Confirmation of minutes, councillors. I'd like somebody to move that the minutes of the scheduled council meeting from the 15th of April and the unscheduled council meeting for the 6th of May be confirmed, and I'll take that as moved. Councillor Jennings, seconded Councillor Englefield. All those in favour? That is carried. Thank you. Disclosures of conflict of interest. Do we have any conflicts of interest, councillors? If not, we will move on. Joint letters and reading of petitions. We have a joint letter in relation to the development plan application, which will be considered later in the meeting. And so we have received correspondence, which the document included. Sorry, is that there? Sorry, excuse me for a second. There. Have you got the letter or not? So I'll just go through it briefly. Dear Mr Mayor and councillors, writing this email from landowners listed below, and there are 11 signatories to this letter. We're writing to councillors for their support and seek this email to be a petition for the following concerns. It is being taken as a joint letter because it doesn't meet requirements for a petition. In regards to traffic management and curb and gutter, it appears that Swan Hill Council are comfortable with the traffic report that has been provided for the proposed school at 181 Grey Street, Swan Hill. Residents are far from comfortable with this decision. We believe that council do not have this right. The new school is going to be a major disruption to the residents of the west end of Grey Street. We believe that no consideration has been given to the traffic travelling from the west, Tower Hill. How many children are going to come to school either riding a bike, walking, car or by bus from this direction? We believe that no consideration has been given to the proposed 90-lot development to the east side of the school. There is no walking lane for pedestrians in Grey Street and there is no bike lane in Grey Street. We, the residents of Grey Street, know the extra impact, disruption and inconvenience that this is going to create on our road. We know because we live there. The traffic report submitted indicates that someone may have to wait for up to 30 seconds for a car or bus turning right into the school. We know that it's not going to be realistic when you have a number of cars and buses coming and going from the east or from town, let alone the traffic trying to exit the school. Grey Street is a busy street. We know from the lack of infrastructure in Grey Street between the proposed school and Sea Lake Road, it will only be a matter of time before someone, whether a child or adult, will be killed on this section of road. This possibility will only increase with more traffic coming from the west. Keep in mind too that the Tower Hill subdivision is nowhere near capacity. You can only imagine the total congestion with a new school and a new subdivision. Parents already experience this now with the current MacKillop and St Mary's schools. Proposed subdivision entry to Grey Street is on a bend. How dangerous is that going to be? The minimum requirement, we believe, is to put in a right-hand turning lane into the school. Grounds must be provided. With respect to curb and gutter, there is to be a footpath continued from the south primary school to the new proposed school, and this is welcomed. The residents of 173, 175 and 177 Grey Street are extremely concerned about the council not seeing the requirement to provide curbing along this section of road. With a shared footpath 2.4 metres wide along the frontages of the properties, this will not leave enough room for a safe pedestrian path from the curb to the footpath. It was thought for a swale drain to be between the edge of the road and the footpath. Due to the narrow verge, this would require a deep swale drain, which would be very unsafe to walk beside, and the water runoff from the road would fill the swale drain in a very short period of time and have the potential to flood these 3 properties noted. It is not a matter to wait and see. We know this will happen. The minimum requirement, we believe, a curb and channel must be provided. We appeal to all the councillors to see common sense in these matters. Safety, people and their properties are of the utmost importance to all concerned, and I'm sure we all understand that. Consider and do it well the first time. Of course, it's cheaper to do it now than later. Also attached to our concerns with council at a prior meeting, 16/4/25, for your interest. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact any of the contacts below, and we look forward to your reply, signed by a number of residents along Grey Street in the vicinity of 181 Grey Street. Mr Myers, you have a response.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mr Joyce and those residents who provided the letter. Council, as the Mayor said, the letter has been received as a joint letter, and so the protocol under the governance rules is to present all petitions and joint letters to the next available council meeting, which is today. This joint letter also relates to an item that is listed in this agenda. So in accordance with the relevant part of the governance rules, this joint letter can be dealt with in conjunction with the item. So the item will come up later. Unless it was part of a statutory matter, it can be treated as a joint submission in relation to the planning matter or statutory matter, as the case may be. So we are recommending that council receive the joint letter and then consider this joint letter as part of the item 2.1 development plan overlay for St Mary MacKillop College as part of this council meeting agenda. Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Mr Myers. Do I have a mover for that motion or an alternative motion? Councillor Jones?
As per the recommendation, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Rogers. Councillor Jennings, you wish to speak to that?
Only that I think that we can deal with it as the recommendation suggests. We receive it and discuss it in 2.1, the development plan overlay for MacKillop. It's coming up further in the agenda.
Thank you, Councillor Jennings. Councillor Rogers, do you have anything to add? Thank you. Does anybody wish to speak against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. Further in joint letters and reading of petitions, Mr Myers, we have a petition relating to the purchase of the former Robinvale Hotel site.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, on the 12th of May 2025, Council received a petition asking Swan Rural City Council to consider purchasing the 9 blocks of land that make up the former Robinvale Hotel site. This includes the 2 blocks where the burned out hotel building currently stands, as well as the 7 surrounding blocks. The submitted petition included 194 names, addresses and signatures, and again, as part of our governance rules, if a petition relates to a statutory matter which is a legal public submission, the process is to treat it as this and bring it forward as the case may be. The process in this case, as it is a petition, is I'm recommending that we receive the joint submission and then it be referred to the Director of Development and Planning for consideration and response as part of that ongoing piece of work with the Robinvale Hotel.
Thank you, Mr Myers. Do I have a mover as per recommendation or alternative? Councillor Englefield?
As per recommendation.
Thank you. Have a seconder for that motion. Councillor Thornton, thank you. Do you wish to speak to the motion? Councillor
No, other than to proceed with it as per the recommendation and have the Planning Department take it into consideration.
Thank you. Councillor Enfield. Councillor Thornton, do you wish to speak? Thank you. Any speakers against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. I have a mover that standing orders be suspended for public question time and open forum, please. Somebody move. Councillor Rogers, seconded Councillor Broad. Thank you. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. So we have 3 public questions today. The first public question is from Alison Black. The question is, can Council confirm that it will not, under any circumstances, relocate the Robinvale Resource Centre or any other council service or part thereof into the Robinvale Community Centre? Mr Myers.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ms Black, for your public question time letter in relation to the potential future of the Robinvale Resource Centre. Council hasn't made any decisions in relation to where the resource centre should be located within Robinvale. Should the current Herbert Street site be sold, Council will certainly be reviewing all the options, which include many council-owned facilities in Robinvale. So we will be engaging with the community as that process goes along. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from Alison Gibson, and we welcome Alison to the gallery today. Can the council help with rabbit management at the EF Butler Reserve? Councillor King and Council's Environment and Sustainability Officer have inspected the site, and a study has been done in consultation with the 5 user groups and the neighbours at the reserve. Approval was given and there has been no progress. RDA has spent $7,000 at the reserve rabbit-proofing its sensory garden. The burrows are a hazard to all who use the reserve. As President of the Swan Hill RDA Centre, I am responsible for my volunteers' safety and, in turn, risk management. Councillor Myers. Mr Myers, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor, for the promotion. Thank you very much for your submission, Ms Gibson, and good to see you here too, Vona, from the RDA today. Council has captured this as a budget submission. We're in the process at the moment of budget submissions, and this has actually been referred directly to the budget submission process because it is asking for an allocation of resources. So you'll receive an official reply as part of the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for the question and for the interest, Alison and Verna. The third question is from Rosemary Watson. The question is, why are there so many chemical trails around Swan Hill, and how can we prevent this from occurring in our region? Why is it happening so often? I have contacted numerous departments about this and have been advised that this comes under your authority of power. I would like to know your standing on this position, and knowing that it does fall under your jurisdiction, you have a duty of care that would require you to address this health concern. Mr Myers.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ms Watson, for your public question and also providing some photos of what you're asking about. I would like to clarify that we've confirmed that Council doesn't have jurisdiction or authority over airspace or atmospheric activities, particularly in the commercial aircraft flight paths that we sit under. These matters are regulated at the federal level and so don't fall under local government responsibilities. As such, Council's not in a position to investigate or act on this issue, and I'd recommend that you continue to direct your concerns to the relevant Commonwealth departments for further guidance in relation to commercial aircraft flight paths. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Myers, and again, I thank the members of the public for raising questions with Council. We have no open forum today, so I'll ask for a motion that we resume standing orders, please. Moved Councillor Broad, seconded Councillor Englefield. All those in favour? That's carried, thank you. And we will move on to agenda item 2.1, Development Plan Overlay, St Mary MacKillop College, and ask Ms Granger to give her report.
Thank you, Mayor. So today you've got before you a development plan overlay approval process. So the land is partly zoned general residential and low density residential in Grey Street. It's covered by the development plan overlay as part of the Southwest Development Precinct, and this area forms part of sub-precinct 3. The development plan, Council's required to approve a development plan under this overlay before it can approve a planning permit for use and development of the land. And the development plan is like a master plan. It'll guide the future development of the land. So in this case, it will be for a residential subdivision as well as the new site for MacKillop College. The MacKillop College component of the land use for development of the school will actually be approved by the Minister for Planning, not by Council. The residential subdivision component, when they're ready to apply for a planning permit, Council will be the decision maker. The development plan before Council today has gone through an extensive process of negotiation with the landowners to get to a point where we were ready to exhibit it to the community. There's no formal process to exhibit it like there is for a planning application, but because this was a significant development, we thought we needed to inform the community of where it was at. So we did that by sending notice to neighbours, putting signs on the land and notices in the paper. We received 5 submissions in total, and some of the submissions that you've already heard to from the joint letter today from neighbours. and one very late submission that was concerned about loss of a native tree on site. So throughout this process, council has discussed the development plan and components of it with the school, with the residential owner and with the submitters, other than the very late submission we received. After considering the joint letter that we've had tabled at the meeting today, there's been further discussions with MacKillop College, particularly in relation to the right-hand turn lane that's requested as part of the joint letter. At this stage, the right-hand turn lane doesn't meet the standards or the warrants or the traffic volume to justify a right-hand turn lane as well as a left-hand turn lane. However, the college, in our discussions with them as a result of the concerns raised, haven't dismissed this out of hand. What they've done is include a notation on the development plan, which will be approved by council, that should the numbers get to the point or the issues get to a point where a right-hand turn lane is required, then they would construct that. So that is actually noted on the development plan, which is a significant change and what we think is a pleasing outcome. Council supports some of the concerns raised in the joint letter regarding the provision of curb and channel, and would be requiring as a condition when we are a stakeholder with the Minister for Planning, that conditions regarding curb and channel and extension of the footpath to the existing primary school be incorporated. However, we would find it difficult to establish the reasonableness to imply and ask the school to construct a footpath back to the Sea Lake Ultima Road. Again, when we're dealing with planning permits and we're dealing with conditions, it's what's reasonable for the developer to actually construct. It's not we can ask for everything. So we're actually operating under what's a reasonable condition under the Planning and Environment Act. Again, this could be a future project and it could be a future project for council to contribute to. The environment report that was submitted with the development plan acknowledges that the tree that's on site that's proposed to be removed is Indigenous, but it's not typical of the EVC or the ecological vegetation class Indigenous to the area. And their view is that it would have very little impact if that tree was removed, and council again would be looking at landscaping and buffering conditions, so there could be offsets to the loss of that tree. Council, in approving the development plan, allows MacKillop College to apply to the Minister for Planning for a planning permit for the school development, and council as a stakeholder in that process would recommend a range of conditions. So that would include road upgrades, drainage upgrades, landscaping, fencing, native veg removal and amenity conditions. Those infrastructure upgrades would turn our minds to curb and channel and footpath extensions. So the joint letter did raise issues with the right turn lane, and again, we just are at a point where the traffic information that's been submitted and that we've reviewed doesn't actually justify that occurring right at this time, but showing it on the plan means it gives both the community, council and the developer the trigger for when it needs to be provided in the future. So I'd like to thank all parties to the process for being involved and getting to the point where this precinct is ready for development, and the recommendation is for council to approve and endorse the development plan.
Thank you, Ms Granger. Any questions, councillors? Just a reminder to push to talk. Councillor Broad.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Just in relation to the right-hand and left-hand turn lane addition in future potential, how is something like this measured? Because you mentioned numbers or issues, and is there a specific time frame for when something like this would be measured?
Thanks for your question. The left turn lane is required as part of their initial development, and already that is based on the warrant or the statistics that the Department of Transport and Planning provides for council and developers to use. And we would, based on traffic volumes, could put traffic counters out and monitor when the school commences, and then maybe every couple of years to work out when a right-hand turn lane is required. And I'm sure as the residents have expressed that they've got concerns, they will let us know of traffic safety issues they will have.
Thank you. Councillor Rogers?
I'm just wondering if we're totally satisfied that it's safe for children from Tower Hill direction, the west, to ride their push bikes down around Grey Street to the school, and pedestrians as well. A lot of trucks do use that road, and it just want to be satisfied that it's as safe as it possibly can be for those children.
Yep, through you, Mayor. Obviously, council isn't in a position, we cannot guarantee all road users and users of the road reserve in terms of safety. That's not something that we can do. Do we think that there may be a need for that footpath link into the future? We do. However, it comes down to whether or not it's reasonable to put that condition on this particular development. So as already explained, that's something that we would consider potentially as a council-funded project or as a grant opportunity arise into the future.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, councillors? If not, I've just got a quick one. It relates to a similar matter. So in regards to infrastructure, the footpath was specifically mentioned. That's something that could be put on council's 10-year major project plan when it's reviewed later in the year, for example.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Through you, Mayor, yeah. Certainly through our funding programs, but obviously it's also a great project that we would be looking at funding opportunities into the near future as well.
Yep, great. Thank you. If there's no further questions, can I have a motion, councillors? Councillor Thornton?
Happy to move the motion as recommended.
As per recommendation, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Seconded, Councillor Broad. Councillor Thornton, do you wish to speak to the motion?
I will. I'd like to acknowledge that this is a very exciting time for MacKillop College and for the Swan Hill community. The story of MacKillop College is a really bright one from its early beginnings to today, and the idea of seeing the plans of that they have to move to a bigger site is really exciting. Having two wonderful secondary colleges in our town is to the benefit of the whole town. I'd like also to thank the community for their submissions and for presenting to council. The advice from the community is definitely taken into account and heard by councillors and officers, and I thank the officers for their work in negotiating the best possible outcome for what is a tricky site, but one that is, I think, in the end, going to be a wonderful site for MacKillop College. So I appreciate the time and consideration that goes into these types of planning or development applications, and look forward to seeing it come to fruition.
Thank you, Councillor Thornton. Councillor Broad, you wish to speak?
Nothing to add, Mr Mayor.
Nothing to add. Do I have any speakers against the motion? No speakers against the motion. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Agenda item 2.2, Housing Action Greater Swan Hill Project Proposal. Ms Grange, I think this is yours as well. Thank you.
It is. Council, I'm really pleased to present this report to you today. This is housing's been identified by all levels of governments as a key issue, and the housing and rental shortage is impacting us all, including across our municipality. Council, through running housing summits, has identified that no one party can solve this issue, and as part of Council's approach to housing, there's been a action group established. So we've got Housing Action Greater Swan Hill, who've been working on a number of projects for the last 12 months across the community. A subcommittee on investment models has looked at a range of funding models to stimulate investment and building of houses, and looked at options including a housing trust in the Wimmera model, a model in Ararat between council and a significant local developer, and a development occurring in Sea Lake where community members, including the construction sector, are investing and building in homes. As a result of this work, this has led to a proposal before you today to establish a unit trust and have council contribute 2 small lots of land at Tower Hill. They were part of stage 1, they're still on the market. To contribute those at market value as its contribution to the Housing Trust in return for shares. If council accepts this offer, then a unit trust will be set up and the community will be invited to become investors, and we hope to see 2 houses constructed or a house constructed on each of these lots. In doing business with council, as always, we've had a look at our due diligence and the risk environment around being involved in such a process. We need to ensure that we continue to meet our legislative obligations, and it would be appropriate that the council appoint our CEO as the director to a housing trust if it's established. If this is approved today, council should assist the committee to market this initiative to the community to get the investors and ensure its success. This is a significant milestone for Housing Action Greater Swan Hill, and I encourage council to support this recommendation and thank the committee for its achievements.
Thank you, Ms Granger. Any questions, councillors? Councillor Broad.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Just in relation to the recommendation point 2, it says that undertakes a community information process to advise of its intention to transfer, and it goes on. What exactly does that entail, the community information process?
So it's not a submission process, it's really just advising the community. I think we've involved the community over the last 18 months in the conversation about housing. I think some of the discussion is that the community's wanting to see leadership. This proposal shows leadership, and that council, in order to meet its obligations under the Local Government Act, should just inform the community that it intends to be an investor.
Any other questions, councillors? There's no questions. Could I have a motion? Councillor Jennings.
Yeah, as per the recommendation, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Jennings. Do I have a seconder for the motion? Councillor Rogers. Thank you. Councillor Jennings, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. I think at the briefing that we received on this, we acknowledged it was an exciting project, and I made the comment at the time that this was a no-brainer. I still think that's the case. In November 23, there was a summit to develop strategies and projects to address the critical shortage of housing and how to attract investment into the region. I see this as a high priority, and it allows council to participate in a way that doesn't disadvantage ratepayers. Council's not being asked to contribute funds, simply to exchanging land and at market price for shares in a trust that will kickstart the first of hopefully multiple such projects. I commend the Greater Swan Hill Subcommittee on their work to date, and I encourage the community to support this very worthwhile project.
Thank you, Councillor Jennings. Councillor Rogers, do you wish to speak to the motion? Just push to talk, please. Thank you.
Councillor Jennings done a great job, and I'd fully support what he said. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any speakers against the motion? Do any other councillors wish to speak to the motion? Sorry, I mean, Delhi Mr. Councillor Thornton. Thank you. Thank you.
I would just like to add that it is an exciting time, having been on council now near 6 months, and to see the extensive work we're doing on housing, not just with this particular project, but on a number of different levels. And I think that it's really wonderful to be part of a council that's collaborating with the community in lots of different ways, and this is just one of those ways. And I think that we're going to see a lot come to fruition from projects like this over the council term. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Thornton. With no speakers against, I will put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. And I'd like to endorse other councillors' comments and thank them, and repeat thanking of the members of the Housing Advisory Committee. These people aren't paid to do that job. They are volunteers, and we really appreciate their work and ideas, concepts that they can come up with to build houses in the community. And yeah, we just thank them for their work, because nobody can solve this problem on their own. It takes many hands, and so obviously from the vote today, Council is very proud and pleased to be able to assist this initiative as well. I should acknowledge from the previous agenda item to wish MacKillop College all the very best with their ongoing development out on Grey Street in Swan Hill, also an exciting project for the region. We will move on to agenda item 2.3, Swan Hill Regional Livestock Exchange Advisory Committee membership. Ms Johnston.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. This report is in regards to membership of the Swan Hill Regional Livestock Exchange Advisory Committee. At the council meeting held on the 18th of February 2025, council reviewed the terms of reference for the exchange and resolved to support the advertising and recruitment of new members to the committee in order to bring further experience and expertise. Council received submissions from Wayne Moore as a primary producer, Wayne Murray, primary producer, Bill Moore, primary producer, Dennis Walker, primary producer, Kim Kelly as an independent. It is believed that all these submissions are suitable and would be appropriate to be on the exchange committee. Council then also contacted all the existing members of the committee, asking for confirmation that they were willing to be retained on the committee. The following existing members affirmed that they would like to continue: Gerard O'Loughlin, primary producer, Darren Merchant, stock agent, Jason Pickering, stock agent, Matt Rowlands, stock agent, Jason Tilbrook, transporter, and Robin Leishman on behalf of Agriculture Victoria. Additionally, Georgia McDonald indicated that she no longer wanted to be on the committee. The current terms of reference caps their external independent membership at 8. However, as Council has received 9 submissions, it is actually suggested to change the terms of reference so that all 9 submissions can be received. In summary, the committee would then have 9 external independent members, 1 from Ag Victoria, plus the councillor and council staff. So the recommendation before you, Council, is to alter the current terms of reference, increasing the external independent members from 8 to 9, to appoint Wayne Murray, Bill Moore, Dennis Walker and Kim Kelly as new members, and reappoint Gerard O'Loughlin, Darren Merchant, Robin Leishman, Jason Pickering, Matt Rowlands and Jason Tilbrook onto the Swan Hill Regional Livestock Exchange Advisory Committee, and to notify all submitters of their application. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms Johnston. Any questions, councillors? If there's no questions, can I have a motion? Councillor Rogers? No.
Yes, I'd like to move the recommendations as...
Motion as per recommendation?
Yeah.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for the motion? Councillor Englefield, thank you. Councillor Rogers, you wish to speak to the motion?
Yes, just to say that I couldn't pick a better team. They're all very well experienced gentlemen, and yeah, it's a good outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rogers. Councillor Englefield, do you wish to speak?
Yeah, I think it's an impressive list of people, in fact, and so in light of the fact that we have such an outstanding group prepared to put their hands up, that we need to make a bit of extra space on the committee, and in light of the current focus on the livestock exchange, I think it would be a very, very good move to move forward as recommended.
Thank you, Councillor Englefield. Do I have any speakers against the motion? Does anybody else wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Jennings?
Thanks, Mayor. Just to endorse what the other two councillors have said, I think in the current climate where there's so much interest in the livestock exchange review, that to have people that are involved in the industry that are able to give us some direction now and into the future of how the livestock exchange is operated will be a valuable thing, and I'd much prefer to see us change the terms of reference than to knock out somebody who's put their hand up to give us their expertise.
Thank you, Councillor Jennings. If there's no other speakers, I will put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Agenda item 2.4, instruments of delegation update. Ms Morris.
Thank you, Mayor. This report is in relation to the instrument of delegation S6. So the Municipal Council obviously has a number of powers and decision-making abilities, and to ensure that this is efficiently carried out throughout the municipality, there is an ability to transfer those decision-making abilities down to relevant council officers, and the S6 does cover legislation, including the Food Act, the Residential Tenancies Regulations and the Road Management Act. Those 3 items have had some changes to the powers, and that has been documented in the attachment that's been provided to you. The executive leadership team have all been through the document and agree with the delegated powers that you'll see within the document, and the recommendation is that the council adopt the instrument of delegation as presented.
Thank you, Ms Morris. Any questions, councillors? Do I have a motion on this one? I need a motion on this one. Councillor Englefield.
As per the
As per
recommendation.
Thank you. Seconded, Councillor Thornton. Thank you. Do you wish to speak to the motion, Councillor Englefield?
Oh, no, I'll need to say the officers have spent a significant time going through this, and it's pretty much procedural stuff, so... Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Englefield. Councillor Thornton, do you wish to speak?
No,
Thank
nothing
you.
to add.
No worries. Thank you. Any speakers against the motion? Otherwise, I'll put it. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Agenda item 3, officer reports for noting. Item 3.1, the Audit and Risk Committee minutes from the meeting of the 2nd of April 2025. Ms Morris. We will consider this in camera if there are any questions in relation to the specific minutes, councillors. This is really just to accept the minutes of that meeting as presented.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just scrolling through all the delegation section. Yeah, so this is for the current or the previous Audit and Risk Committee meeting that was held on the 2nd of April, and it summarises the items that were discussed. The Audit and Risk Committee, they met, they went through their usual procedure, which included the department presentations, internal audit updates, which included the total asset management system, capital projects, budget monitoring and management controls, the internal audit review from AFS, the audit strategy memorandum, council expenses from October till December 2024, quality review of the financial performance and position from the 31st of December, the VAGO management letter findings update, the position paper and quarterly risk reports, along with the biannual report of the audit committee activities. So if council is satisfied with that, we'd be recommending that council note the contents of this report.
Thank you, Ms Morrison. As I said, councillors, if there are any questions, they can be raised in camera, given this is an audit committee report. So could I have somebody to move a motion, please? Councillor Rogers, as per recommendation.
As per recommendation.
Thank you.
Mr.
Seconder.
Mayor.
Councillor Jennings, thank you. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. On to section 4 of the agenda, sign and seal. Mr Myers.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, council, as you'll see in the report there, that there are a couple of items that were signed and sealed since the last council meeting, Section 173 agreement and the contract for the construction of the 10 steps and retaining wall.
Thank you.
Hoping for this to be ratified.
Any questions, councillors? If not, I will ask for a motion. Councillor Englefield. As per recommendation. Thank you. Seconder. Councillor Broad. Anything to say?
No.
No? Okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. And councillor briefings, record of attendance. Anything you want to say to that? Mr Myers? No?
Nothing to report, Mayor. It's the reports in front of you, councillors, just highlighting who was in attendance and what the agenda items were.
Thank you. Do I have a mover for that report? Councillor Broad, seconder. Councillor Thornton. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. We have no notices of motion. Do we have any foreshadowed items, councillors? No? So we will move on to section 7, urgent items not included in the agenda. Have any urgent items? Mr Myers.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we do. Through you, Mayor, Councillor Rogers has raised an urgent business item which has been approved by the CEO. So I'm requesting that we raise a matter of urgent business with the council under section 6.6 of the governance rules. And it's up to you to...
Thank you, Mr Myers. I've also reviewed the request for urgent business and believe that it is valid urgent business. So I'll invite Councillor Rogers if you could explain your urgent business, and then we'll hear the motion from you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. We've got a significant rally down in Melbourne today, and this is appropriate to that rally where hundreds of fire trucks and State Fire Brigade fighters are attending. So last week the state government passed a bill, the Emergency Services Volunteer Fund, which will increase the state taxes, particularly in rural areas, and charge it through our council. There has been overwhelming rejection and anger from all our communities and neighbouring municipalities. This is nothing but another excessive tax grab targeting rural, honest, working, farming and business communities to fund major state budget shortfalls. Our communities pay enough and our hard-earned taxes go to federal governments to be distributed out to the state governments. If the Allen state government wants more, they should seek it from their federal counterparts who have plenty of our taxes and not double tax us. The Allen government do not even have the guts to administer the charges and debt collections for their tax and unfairly legislate council to do their dirty work, placing pressure on local people. The State Revenue Office should be collecting the taxes, not the councils who receive no benefit from this unfair tax. Our state roads have fallen into complete disrepair through lack of funding and neglect, putting our road safety at risk, yet we see enormous spending splurges and wasteful rorts spent in metropolitan Melbourne. Our services have seen declining state contributions over the years, such as libraries and school crossing supervisors, and the state caps council's revenue under inflation to assist with the cost of living for Victorians, and then does this. We experience poor rail services and bad maintenance to the disgrace of seeing our train engine disconnect itself from the carriages recently, leaving passengers stranded on the rail line. We have to fund our own hospital MRI machine. Our communities are fed up with being overlooked and neglected. Our Australian culture, goodwill between neighbours and community members brought now into conflict by unwanted power lines, wind towers, and now the gall to tax the volunteers and farmers who work so hard putting food on your table and then volunteering their time to protect and help people in desperate need, now to be slugged for it. I strongly believe that urgent business is needed to inform the Allen government they must repeal this abhorrent tax on our good-minded volunteers and our hard-working community. It will tax our communities an additional $2 million per year. We already are paying $3.6 million of the state taxes for this existing fire services levy. This tax is being charged through councils, which is not a transparent tax and places the burden, distrust and anger at the council. Our communities will not benefit from the additional tax, which the state is using to fix its budget problems. I'd like to put an emergency motion to reject the new tax, please. We need to stand up and support our community. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Rogers. I'll invite councillors if they have any questions before we get to the motion. If there's no questions, as I said earlier, I will accept the urgent business, agreeing that this is urgent business because this legislation was passed on Thursday night after the agenda had been prepared, so it's not reasonable that this could have been included in the agenda, and hence it meets the requirements to be accepted as urgent business. And deferring the item until the next meeting would mean that essentially a decision made today would have no impact whatsoever in another month's time. So I believe it is urgent business. So Councillor Rogers, I will ask you to put a motion forward in relation to your urgent business. If you could read your motion, please.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I put forward a motion that council write a letter to the Allen government and, number one, tell them that this state tax is abhorrent, inadequate and unfair, which will take an additional $2 million from everyone in the municipality, with farmers and industrial ratepayers losing the most. Number 2, call on the state government to repeal this decision. Number 3, call on the state government to administer their own tax collection, administration and debt collection. I welcome all councillors' support and amendments to this motion if they would like. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rogers. Do I have a seconder for Councillor Rogers' motion? Councillor Englefield. Thank you. Councillor Rogers, do you wish to speak further to the motion?
No further. That's pretty much said it all.
Thank you, Councillor Rogers. Councillor Englefield, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yeah, it's apparent from particularly rural Victoria that everyone considers the unfairness and the inequity in this proposal, well, not what is not now a proposal, what is in fact a law, which was passed last Thursday night. I always was under the impression that the state government had a duty to provide community-based services to the community at large via their taxation and revenue-raising levers. And the change to this to include the funding of 000 Emergency Management Victoria and some fund that's supposed to be going to go to volunteers, I would have thought is a broad-based community objective that should have been funded out of general revenue. And then on top of that bad decision, the decision to increase the levy particularly for the farmers across the state and our region to by, I believe, something in the order of 180 odd percent, when farming and in particular, like households, are facing a cost of production crisis, is particularly galling. And I would very much support Councillor Rogers' motion in appealing to the Allen State Government to take up their obligations to the community and fund these types of activities out of general revenue as they should.
Thank you, Councillor Englefield. Does anybody wish to speak against the motion? Does anybody else wish to speak to the motion? Thank you. Councillor Thornton.
Wanted to add, having attended the Municipal Associations Victoria State Council on Friday, and thereby being aware of considerable advocacy work that's been done through MAV and other organisations that represent the municipalities across Victoria. And so acknowledge that work, acknowledge that there has been a lot of discussions and negotiations between that organisation and the state government. Several consolidated motions were passed at that forum, and I understand that there will be ongoing conversations between the state government and those organisations. Notwithstanding, it is now legislation, and it would certainly seem that there's a cost shifting going on, and that something that's been funded from general revenue is now, they're looking to fund it via this new means, and that is a huge concern for us in the country. Clearly extreme weather is costing a lot and will continue to cost a lot, but I don't see the need for a new tax to be imposed that will particularly impact on our rural communities. So, yeah, there's a huge issue here to be watching, and this council, I'm sure, will be watching it and doing all we can to get the best outcome for the community. I will note that the negotiations as it passed through the Parliament last week did negotiate a reduction in the amount that will be charged to farmers, and also a rebate available for the volunteers who volunteer for the CFAs and for drought-affected farmers. So some good negotiations did occur, more to be done there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Thornton. Does anybody else wish to speak to the motion? If not, I will put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Rogers, for the urgent business. Based on the comments around volunteers, and it's been a bit of a theme in today's meeting, so we'll give a shout out to our local CFA and SES volunteers in particular, particularly in regards to this matter, and thank them for the work that they do in our community. Section 7, to consider and order on councillor reports. Who would like to go first today? If not, that will be Councillor Englefield. If there's no volunteers. Speaking of volunteers, Councillor Englefield, your report, please.
Well, I have had there's no formal meetings as such in the last month, but obviously it's been busy with the council plan and the sale yards, and particularly in Robinvale with the issue of the hotel and the future, or what the future may be for the hotel site. So there's certainly been a lot of interaction at a footpath level, let's say.
And that interaction is also extremely valuable, so thank you for updating us on those matters. Councillor Broad.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Just waiting for the table to come up. It's there. Obviously, we're now just over 6 months into this, and it's been, as Aladdin would say, a whole new world for someone my age. It's been incredible to be an elected representative in the community, and I think the last few weeks have been eye-opening to the responsibility that we have. So in the table there's a Swan Hill Link board meeting, there's the community vision workshops, one in town and one at Lake Boga, and I'd just like to commend the Lake Boga community for their participation in that. There was a lot of numbers there. I think it was one of the most attended sessions from what the consultants have said, so well done Lake Boga. We've got the community forum and the art gallery and tourism hub walkthrough, which is looking fantastic.
Great, thank you, Councillor Broad. Councillor Jennings.
Might just wait for my my screen to update too, please. Yes, I'd endorse what Councillor Broad said. There's been a lot of meetings taking place and consultation with the community on a range of things. So all part of the role. So as part of that, I attended the dawn service at the RSL, which for the first time was held indoors because of the inclement weather, and I was really pleased to see the room, or both rooms, were completely full. So that's a good turnout at 6 o'clock in the morning. Community consultation on the council plan, Ratepayers Association that we all attended for the livestock exchange review. The next day, the briefing of the Robinvale Hotel demolition application. Had a very nice lunch for a farewell for Barn, and got to do the dishes at the council as part of my non-official duties, and attended last Monday the second workshop, if you like, for FRRR, which is the Foundation for Rural Regional Renewal, and it was about investing in rural community futures, which, for those that aren't aware, Swan Hill was one of 3 recipients of some foundation money that's going to take place in the next 5 years, and the feedback we've had from the organisers of that workshops is the buy-in from the local community is fantastic, and the best that they've seen in all the ones that they've done through New South Wales and now into Victoria. So people are looking to get involved and want to support, want to volunteer, want to do good things for their community. So that was a good one.
Thank you, Councillor Jennings. Councillor Thornton.
Yes, so a busy month for us all. Lucky for me, I got 2 weeks away, so my activity was squeezed into a couple of weeks, and I was able to attend the mural painting for Warranine Progress Association. That's exciting little town beautification project that they have out there. Great chance to chat with the community and see what's going on. The Ratepayers Association meeting regarding the sale yards, the FRRR workshop, as Terry has spoken about, really fabulous opportunity on Volunteers Week. It'll certainly see the community sector in Swan Hill organised and raring to go, so that's a really fabulous thing to see happening. A neighbourhood house morning tea, which was wonderful to see everything that's happening at the neighbourhood house. I went to the Swan Hill Sustainability Group's general meeting and learned a lot when I stepped in for Councillor Les McPhee at the Municipal Associations of Victoria State Council. Yeah, great learning opportunity and enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thornton. Councillor Rogers.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Doesn't sound like it's working. Yeah, I attended the Anzac Day dawn and morning services, and it was great to see. There was a little bit of rain there too, so it was probably a good call to have it inside. I've attended numerous community plans, which is great to hear the people talking directly to us. I attended the Oldham Waste Receival Centre opening, which is a great facility out there. I attended Rock in the Park Festival, the market the following day. I attended the Ratepayers Sale Yard Forum, which was great to hear everyone speak, and great feedback for the council. And I attended a new tourism hub and art gallery walkthrough. That's about it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Rogers. And for me, much like other councillors, a busy month in community engagement, particularly with council plan workshops, the Livestock Exchange Forum, Robinvale Hotel planning application as well, Anzac Services, obviously some additional media duties this month in relation to a couple of those items, so it's been pretty hectic on that front as well. Opened the 59th May Bowls Carnival for the Swan Hill Bowls Club, so continuing volunteers down there continuing to do a good job to bring that carnival to life each year. The opening of the Ultima Compost facility, of course, and inspecting the Art Gallery and Tourism Cultural Hub along with other councillors. And last Friday, participated in the National Walk to School Day with the students from the Nye District Primary School, along with some parents and members of the police force. It was a great little morning out there to do that, and just a real encouragement for the community that's out there that all get together just to celebrate little things like that. So that was fantastic. And I will take this opportunity to thank councillors, all councillors, for their participation, particularly in the council plan workshops, and just reiterate that work continues on the council plan, and the community gets continued involvement in that council plan when it goes out for exhibition, and it's a really important document in terms of guiding the council agenda for the next 4 years. So yeah, real thanks to councillors, and also for turning up to some of the difficult issues that we've discussed over the past month as well. Your support has been, your presence and your support has been greatly appreciated. So thank you. With that, before we move to go into camera, I will thank people on the live stream and members of the public in the gallery today. The meeting recommences when we come out of camera, but we have no further business after we've dealt with the in-camera items. So I will thank you for your attendance today, and ask councillors for a motion to go into camera, please. Move Councillor Broad, seconded Councillor Rogers. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. If we just wait for the live stream to stop. Moved Councillor Inglefield, seconded Councillor Broad. All those in favour? Motion is carried. Thank you. And with that, there is no further business in this scheduled meeting of the Swan Hill Rural City Council for May 2025. Again, we thank the public gallery and those on the live stream watching the meeting. Thank you for your attendance today. Thank you, councillors. Thank you, officers, for your reports. And with that, I will close the meeting at 3:04 p.m. Thank you.